in the bottom right, winning the last 2 games very convincingly, we have the Blue Terran for Nocturnal Gamers, Warshop. And in the bottom left, spawning in as Zerg, we have the random player, Painkiller from PasT Gaming, as the green Zerg. There should be a random heart. Not a bad idea. Like a dice heart. Give me a hybrid. Anyway, we're spawned here on Ruins of Endion. Pretty good map. I'd say one of the better maps in the pool. Pretty easy pocket 4th base for players. This gold base doesn't really get a lot of play. A lot of battles happen here though. But yeah, I'd say overall a pretty good map for this season. I imagine it'll stick around for another season. Nobody, not that many people that I've met have said that it's a bad map, except for their complaints with these rocks here. I think you should probably have to attack both rocks in order to break the whole thing down. But it's okay. These little rocks do make ZVZ kind of a nuisance, but anyway, so we have a hatch gas pool, looks like, coming down here for Painkiller. And on the Terran side of things, we have a barracks coming down, not as a part of the wall off. I imagine he'll lift that and put that in the wall. And we just have the 1 refinery for now. So yep, hatch gas pool coming down here for Painkiller. And we'll have to see what Warshop decides to go for. We have this 1 Reaper out in production here. We have a 2nd command center here being produced on the low ground. Standard Reaper expand here for Warshop. So let's see if he decides to lift up this barracks and put it in as part of the wall. Or if he's going to start producing Marines. Nope, he's going to put down a reactor, guys. And a bunker is in production. Looks like it's going to be over here at Painkiller's base. We got a drone here trying to stop this bunker from going down. Looks like it is going to be able to stop that SCV from producing just before the Reaper arrives. Good timing here for Painkiller. Able to keep himself safe. See if he's able to morph something to keep this drone alive. Spinecrawler is produced, not an economic choice. You want to go for that Spore Crawler or the Extractor. Spinecrawler is a little pricey, but we have Lings attacking this Reaper here. Bomb goes off and hits 2 of the Zerglings, and looks like these 2 Zerglings are going to get cleaned up. The last 2 retreat back to the safety of the base, and we need to see this Queen come up here and defend this other Zergling. These Zerglings are really helpful when it comes to trying to secure your 3rd base. The Reaper is in a pretty bad position here. It looks like it is going to fall. And now Painkiller in a pretty safe position to go ahead and take his 3rd base. But we do see a Roach Warren in production instead. So we'll have to see what he decides to do, whether he decides to produce roaches or go ahead and grab that 3rd base. And we have the factory lifting off, going over here to produce some Hellions, as we always see from the Terran players these days. And if roaches are in production, then they are going to be essentially worthless. So we will have to see. But 3rd Command Center already in production here for Warshop. Going ahead and grabbing that quick 3rd base, definitely. Good play there for Terran players. But it looks like these Marines taking out the rocks. And we have 5 Broaches in production here. So it looks like Warshop might be looking to whittle this rock tower down, just so that it's available and ready to be broken when he needs it. But 2 Hellions moving over here. Queen's moving off creep, looking to deal with that. Pressuring away the Hellions, and then they're just going to move up into the 3rd, seeing no 3rd base. And this should prompt Warshop to go ahead and go for Banshee play. Or siege tanks, definitely, but we got a reactor on the factory, actually. When you see a 2-base Zerg like this, in general, you want to have either Banshees or siege tanks to deal with their 2-base aggression. But in production here, guys, we have 3 Overlords with drop. So we're going to have some Queens lifted up here. And it looks like they're going to be dropped into the main base of Warshop. And we got the Hellions here trying to get in here. And they're going to make it into the natural expansion or the main base of Painkiller. It looks like Painkiller doesn't care. Moving across the map here with his roaches. Looking to deal some damage here very shortly. In production, we only have 1 Marauder. We have no units, essentially. We have 2 Marines, 1 Marauder. And we got Hellions here in the main base trying to deal some damage. This Hellion freaking out. Doesn't know what to do. Lost control of the steering wheel. And this Hellion going to be able to take out quite a few drones here, but these roaches here should be able to defend. Oh no, they're just running by. They don't care about the drones. Okay, 3 queens have been dropped here at the low ground of Warshop, and looks like we got to take out these rocks first. But those get taken out pretty quickly, and now there are a bunch of roaches and 3 queens ready to deal some damage. So this bunker did finish up. We do have 2 Widow Mines. We have SCVs on the mineral line, or on the bunker rather. And it's looking like it's going to be pretty difficult with 2 Liberators coming out for Painkiller to deal some damage. But it looks like all these units are going to get dropped here. Right on top of everything. Widow Mines. Where are they going to detonate? Oh, all in one roach. That was not the detonation that he needed. This Marauder, the only hope here. 2 Liberators about to pop out. They're going to be able to deal some damage. But a lot of economic damage being dealt to Warshop here. Huge economic damage. We can check the workers killed here. 18, 20. And it just continues to climb. 25. Massive economic damage. 27 workers have been killed. The Liberators do pop in, looking to take this out. But the units are lifted, and they are free from the Liberation Zone. We can check our units here. 12 SCVs only for Warshop. Every worker that kills is absolutely precious. And the Liberation Zone's not quite in range. These roaches getting some pretty decent damage down. And we have more roaches here in the natural expansion of Warshop. And it looks like they're going to be able to take out a few more workers. And we have 25 supply, 24, 2 Painkillers, 53. We'll go back to see what's going on in Painkiller land. Looks like he's still producing roaches and queens. And the natural expansion is lifted off here for Warshop. And it looks like he has stabilized here for the moment. But a very devastating attack here from Painkiller, dealing significant damage. Widow Mines going off, taking out them roaches. Yeah, some very serious damage here done to Warshop's economy. We'll have to see how he's able to stabilize from this moment. But it looks like this command center is going to be lifted and brought here over to the gold. We should see a mule hammer done come down here on these gold mineral patches. And we do see a couple minerals, or mules rather, dropped. And we have Zerglings and roaches here in the natural expansion Warshop. He does have a pretty large amount of Marines though, and I don't think this is enough roaches with the Liberation Zone to deal with this. All the roaches are falling, and the supplies are equalized at this exact moment. I think Painkiller just threw away any advantage that he had in this game. In terms of economy, Painkiller's still ahead, but the mules on this mineral, on these gold minerals, very useful. Huge economy boost, and pulling ahead for Warshop. Now during this Liberator did get 5 kills over here on the 3rd base of Painkiller. So pretty devastating here. Painkiller in a pretty bad position here. We have 2 medevacs getting ready to drop. And Painkiller in a lot of trouble, you guys. Bunch of Marines, Marauders, looking to get dropped here very shortly. And they're dropping in here into the main base. Medevacs are getting attacked. And it looks like this Widow Mine's going to go off. Both Widow Mines, only on 1 roach. Good play there. Alright, Liberator's ready. Looks like Painkiller with just enough units to deal with this. But now he's facing an opponent on 3 bases with a gold base economy. Zergling's flooding in. Getting a good surround here on the Marines, but they get lifted up into the medevac. And now the Liberator in a decent position, but it's going to get taken out by these queens. And Zergling's trickling in one by one, getting taken out by the Marines. They get lifted up. And the Widow Mines are ready once again. So Painkiller in a pretty bad position here. We check units. It looks like Warshop is now ahead in terms of economy. Painkiller not able to produce any drones during all of this. So Painkiller in a pretty bad position. Second Liberator coming down here into the natural expansion here of Painkiller. And the Widow Mines are dropping. They're going to get taken out. 3 units. Liberator sieging up here into the natural expansion of Painkiller. It looks like the Spore Crawler are going to take it out. So overall, Warshop now in a dominating position, continuing to keep up on this SCV production more than his opponent. So we'll have to see how this engagement goes. These Zerglings trickling in, we don't want to lose those. Alright, so this gold base, very crucial here for Warshop. This engagement, very scary here for Painkiller. He has to deal a lot of damage without taking any, or hardly any. And we do have a drop here in the main base of Painkiller. A bunch of Marines, not a lot to deal with this. We only have 2 queens. They do have transfuses ready. But the medevac pulling away here. very smartly, and the queens getting attacked. Looks like all the queens are going to fall. We have 5 roaches in production here. Units of Painkiller just sitting by idly, not doing anything. And it looks like the medevac does fall. We're going to have some roaches in production here to try to deal with this. But the drones are falling, and these are absolutely essential to keeping Painkiller alive and in this game. We're at 16 drones to 32. So a very bad position here for Painkiller. And it looks like the medevac's going to pick up a whole another batch of Marines, bring them over to the main base of Painkiller, and I think this is going to be the coup de grace. Going to take out Painkiller. So Painkiller's got to do a counterattack, and he has to base trade, but this is a pretty strong defensive position here for Warshop. He's got his +1 finished up. Just a small group of roaches, few zerglings, and the main base getting dropped here. We got, what, 8 Marines being dropped. And they're stemming here into the middle of the line. Looking to take out all these drones. All of them are fleeing, but they're all dying. We can check the units here. Many drones are falling. 2-to-1 ratio in terms of supply. Income 4 to 5 to 1. Warshop in a dominating position. 102 supply to 58. A few zerglings trickle in here. The Marines able to deal with them, but they're heading out. And it looks like the medevac barely going to escape with 6 HP. So Painkiller in a terrible position right now. In a lot of trouble. He's going to have to drone non-stop and be left alone for a good few minutes for him to get back into this game. A few zerglings moving up here into the third base. He sees no third, but there is a third. We know it's right here at the gold base. So let's check our units now. Only drones in production. Drones and queens. We have a drop here in the third base now of a Painkiller. And no units here to deal with it. We have a triple drop coming in here. 2 drops into the main, 1 drop in the third, and 1 drop in the natural expansion of Painkiller. A 3-pronged attack. This medevac dies instantly with this drone line getting attacked. Check how many units of workers have been killed. 33 for Painkiller and 21 for Warshop. This number continues to climb. Huge drop here in the main base of Painkiller. And looks like the main base is going to get killed. The third base is getting sieged. Painkiller in a terrible position. The main base falls. And the spawning pool going down. And it looks like all these units trickling in here into the natural expansion. Looking to deal the final death blow to Painkiller. But it looks like they're going to retreat and head back home. 2-2 being started here for Warshop. Very good position here for Warshop, that is. And Painkiller barely clinging to life here. And it looks like all the units, most of them, going to be taken out here. But another drop in the main base of Painkiller. Do have some roaches here to deal with this. They're going to be able to stop these units. But at what cost, as we always say. Another drop over here? Nope. Alright, so we're going to have a, looks like, 4th base being placed down here for Warshop. 122 supply, 251. Absolutely dominating position here for Warshop. And most of this game just resulting in the fact that Painkiller threw away his unit advantage, got a little overeager after the natural expansion got lifted off. I think he should have just pulled back and droned up and got a nice economic lead, allowing him to secure a pretty nice army for the mid-game. But looks like things happened in the reverse order, and Warshop moving out with a huge army here. We can check the army value. 2 to almost 3 to 1 ratio in terms of army value. And let's check our income. Also a 2 to 1 ratio. So Warshop looking to seal the deal here, finish out the game. And the third base getting sieged here. Liberators coming up. Bunch of Widow Mines. 9 Widow Mines. Tons of Marines with 2-2. The Spine Crawler surely going to fall. And the third base is going to die. Little Broodlings going to pour onto that any second now. And the last units here of Painkiller moving up here into the third base, trying to deal with these Marines. Bunch of Widow Mines moving up to the front. And all the units of Painkiller retreating. They know they can't fight this. It's just too much Terran. And a big stem goes down. And stepping up here into the natural expansion of Painkiller. All the roaches are in serious trouble. Decent corrosive vials, but all the roaches are dead, and GG is called. Game number 3 goes to Warshop. 3-0 for Warshop.